Well, hey, what is going down, everybody? Welcome back to a very special Am I on the Air Quick Bite episode. And tonight we're doing it again. We're doing another early review. Last week I was able to come to with you guys and talk about that 90s show dropping over on Netflix. Well, it's Netflix time once again, and we're going to talk about the new movie, You People. I'm super excited to talk about this one. But first, I want to shout out our great affiliate over at the Pop Culture Pros. That's what this review is about right here, in conjunction with the Pop Culture Pros, to talk about Netflix's new movie, You People. Now, of course, this is a new comedy that is written and directed by Kenya Barris. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because he's the mastermind behind Blackish. And Blackish was a show that ran for many, many, many seasons that I absolutely loved. I thought Blackish was an amazing show, and it ended last year, and I can feel its void on network television, man. I miss that one right there with Anthony Anderson. But what I love about Kenya Barris is he's got a great insight to race, about black people feeling vindicated, but also with the way the whites take it and a way that we all work together. That's why I think I loved Blackish so much, because it dealt with racism and it dealt with things that, you know, I'm a white guy and I might not be accustomed to, but I understood it. The way Blackish always broke it down was awesome. And I really enjoyed his other Netflix show, Black AF. That was a great show as well too. So this movie here had all the right pieces, right? Written and directed by Kenya Barris. You heard that the two main leads were going to be Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy. I remember when I reported on this movie being put together on my regular podcast, I couldn't believe that I was mentioning news of a Jonah Hill and Eddie Murphy movie. In my mind, some of these things are not like the other. It just didn't feel like it made sense, although I was very, very interested. And then we fast forward and the first trailer drops. And it basically is just a scene from the movie with Jonah Hill meeting Eddie Murphy and Nia Long and trying to let them know that he wants to marry their daughter. He wants their permission, and the awkwardness of it as they sit at a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. I love that first trailer. And then a couple weeks ago, Netflix dropped a second trailer to it that really showed more of the story, and it was awesome. So this movie's been very, very high on my expectation list. So I get a chance to sit down last night and watch it. And for those of you that don't know what this movie is fully about, families and cultures clash when two LA millennials from different backgrounds fall in love and face the ultimate relationship test, meeting the parents. So again, you have Jonah Hill, you have Eddie Murphy, you have Lauren London playing Jonah Hill's love interest, you have Julia Louis-Dreyfus playing Jonah Hill's mom, and David Duchovny playing his dad, and you have Nia Long playing Eddie Murphy's wife and Laura London's mother. That's your main cast right there. And I implore you to watch the trailer if you haven't seen it yet. Or if you just want to go into this movie cold, you could do that as well too, knowing what kind of movie it is. It's a relationship movie about clashing cultures. Now we've seen this kind of thing done before. When I watched the trailer, I felt like this movie looked a lot like Guess Who, which came out, God, early 2000s with Ashton Kutcher and Zoe Saldana, with Bernie Mac as Zoe Saldana's dad. Same kind of concept, right? Bringing the white guy home to the family and the differences between the two fams. So that's what this one looked like. Jonah Hill calling an Uber one day at his job. And I'm going to be non-spoiler. This is all stuff that's been in the trailer. This is a non-spoiler review. But Jonah Hill calling Uber at his job, he gets in a car, and that's where Lauren London is, and she freaks out, and she's like, "Get out of my car!" And he's like, "I thought this was my Uber." And she's like, "Oh, so I just look like an Uber driver?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he shows her the picture, and the girl that's supposed to be driving the Uber looks just like her. So he ends up taking her and showing her how to get where she was going. They end up going on a date. We kind of fast forward 6 months, and they're getting very serious, and Jonah Hill wants to ask her to marry him. And that's where the hilarity ensues, right? Because you have them meeting Jonah Hill's parents, once again by Julia Louis-Dreyfus and David Duchovny, which was hilarious. And then, of course, you have him meeting her parents in Eddie Murphy and Nia Long. And it's the awkwardness on both sides, right? Because you have Eddie Murphy's character being very judgmental and very, deep into his culture and feeling like this white guy is just trying to come in and take his daughter. And then on the other side, Jonah Hill's family is like this Jewish family that's trying to deal with, okay, cool. We have this awesome, beautiful black woman that's joining our family. But it's almost like it's that typical white person syndrome, right? Where they're like, I know a black person. I'm friends with a black person. Oh, how did you get your hair like that? And it's very, you don't like Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character doesn't feel like she's coming off racist, but she is in a roundabout way. And you have several moments in this movie where you have the families together, and they're the best parts by far of this movie. Because this movie is all about the trials and tribulations of them dating and getting the parents to buy in, and will they buy in, and where the story takes us from there. Um, I absolutely love this movie. I loved it. I was in tears at moments. I was laughing my ass off at this film. I thought all your leads are amazing in this. I haven't found Julia Louis-Dreyfus this hilarious in many, many, many years. David Duchovny, who's not really typically super funny, is hilarious in his limited screen time. When he's on, he's great. And all I'm gonna say about him is exhibit. Lauren London is amazing as Amira. Of course, Eddie Murphy kills it as Akbar, and Jonah Hill playing a character named Ezra. So good. I've always liked Jonah Hill. I like his delivery. I like his comedy, and this was no different. Um, Guys, I implore you to check out You People when it drops on Netflix. I think you're really gonna like it, especially if you like the trailer. This movie is more of it. Is it perfect? No. There are cliche kind of scenes that you've seen done before. There are things that happen that you're like, "No, don't go down this cheesy route," and it kinda does for a little bit, and you're like, "Oh, man." Like, so there was a couple head scratchers that I was like, "No, don't do that." But overall, I felt like the things that they did that we've seen done before, they did better. I love the chemistry of the cast, and again, I've always said in my reviews, if a cast works, it elevates the movie. So even if it might be a mediocre movie or a bad movie, it always raises it up when you have an amazing cast. And this movie has an amazing cast, and there's a lot of cameos and different people that pop up, and every character that pops up is excellent. So at the end of the day, guys, once again, I loved You People. I give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was excellent, and I really enjoyed this directorial debut here from Kenya Barris for a feature length. Once again, this hits Netflix this Friday on January the 27th. So make sure you check that out when it hits streaming giant. That'll do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this non-spoiler review of You People over on Netflix. Once again, thank you to the Pop Culture Pros for supporting the show and lining up this review for you guys. Once again, make sure you follow us on all social media, amiontheair.com. Follow us on Twitter at amiontheair. Make sure you subscribe right here to the Quick Bites because we always got your news when it drops. No need to wait for the main show. But make sure you check out the main show once again over. It is a different podcast feed. So we have our Am I on the Air feed and our Am I on the Air Quick Bite feed. So make sure you subscribe to both so you don't miss any news. But we'll be back sooner rather than later with another Quick Bite. My name is Don Mega. I've been your host. I appreciate you jumping in and checking this out with us. And until next time, y'all. Oh, by the way, my score. Oh, I did say it. Never mind. 4 out of 5. By the way, next time, till next time, y'all. Peace.